Does your cat follow you everywhere? You get up to make a coffee, they're on their way. You go to the bedroom, they're right behind you. And you go to the bathroom and close the door? Absolutely unacceptable. Suddenly there's a paw under the door like, "Excuse me, why have I been excluded from this meeting?" But why do they do it? Is it because they love you? Are they hungry? Bored? Or have you somehow acquired a tiny furry stalker? Well, there are actually a few reasons cats follow their humans around, and some of them might surprise you. They genuinely like being around you. Let's start with the nicest explanation. Your cat might follow you simply because they like you. Cats have this reputation for being completely independent and only acknowledging our existence when they want food. But that's not really fair. Cats can form strong social bonds with their humans, and some cats genuinely prefer being in the same space as their favorite person. That doesn't necessarily mean they want to sit on your lap all day either. Some cats show affection by cuddling. Others show affection by sitting 3 meters away from you and staring at you for an hour. It still counts. So if your cat follows you from room to room and then just settles down nearby, there's a good chance they simply enjoy your company. You make them feel safe. Your cat may also see you as a source of security. Think about it from their perspective. You control quite a lot of their little world. You provide their food, you open doors, you keep their environment relatively predictable, and hopefully you've shown them over time that you're someone they can trust. So being near you can feel safe. This can be especially noticeable when something unusual is happening. Maybe you've got visitors over. There's construction outside, or someone has committed the ultimate crime of turning on the vacuum cleaner. Your cat might suddenly stick much closer to you than usual. They're basically saying, "I don't know what's going on here, but I'm staying with my human." They're curious about what you're doing. Cats are naturally curious and like to keep an eye on what's happening around them. So when you get up and walk into another room, your cat may simply want to know where you're going and what you're doing. They're constantly taking in information about their environment. And because you're such a big part of that environment, your movements are interesting to them. You might be heading towards their food, opening a door, getting out a toy, or doing something they haven't seen before. Sometimes they just don't want to miss out on whatever might be happening. So even if you're only folding laundry or making a coffee, your cat may decide it's worth following along just in case something more interesting happens. Following you has worked before. Sometimes, without even realizing it, we actually teach our cats to follow us. Cats are very good at learning which behaviors lead to something they enjoy. If your cat follows you into the kitchen and occasionally gets a treat, or some food, they may quickly start associating you walking towards the kitchen with something good happening. The same goes for attention. Maybe they follow you into the bedroom and get a cuddle, or follow you to a cupboard where their favorite toys are kept. Over time, they learn that staying close to you can lead to food, attention, play, or access to somewhere they want to go. So, if following you has paid off before, it makes perfect sense that they'll keep doing it. They know your routine. Cats are creatures of habit. They notice patterns that we probably don't even realize we're creating. Maybe every morning you wake up, go to the bathroom, make coffee, and then feed them. After a while, your cat knows the whole sequence. You haven't even reached the kitchen yet, and they're already thinking, "Excellent. Breakfast procedure has begun." The same thing can happen at night. If you normally feed them, play with them, or give them treats at roughly the same time every evening, they may start following you around when that time approaches. They're not necessarily being clingy. They might just know your schedule better than you do. They want something. And then, of course, sometimes your cat is following you because they want something. Food is the obvious one. But it could also be fresh water, playtime, attention, access to another room, or even a litter tray that needs cleaning. The trick is to look at what happens alongside the following. Are they following you and meowing? Walking toward their food bowl and looking back at you? Sitting next to the door? Bringing you a toy? Cats communicate with their whole body and through patterns of behavior, so the following itself is only one part of the message. And yes, sometimes the message is simply, I can see the bottom of my food bowl, and I would like to speak to management. They might be bored. If your cat doesn't have much to do during the day, you may have become the entertainment. This can be especially common with indoor cats. Cats naturally need opportunities to climb, scratch, chase, explore, and hunt through play. If their environment doesn't offer much stimulation, following you around suddenly becomes one of the most interesting activities available. If you suspect boredom might be part of it, try adding a few short interactive play sessions into the day. Fishing rod toys, puzzle feeders, climbing spaces, window perches, and rotating toys can all give them something else to focus on. Because as much as we love our cats, being followed into the toilet because you're apparently the day's main attraction is probably a sign they could use another hobby. Why do they always follow you to the bathroom? If there's one place cats seem particularly determined to follow us, it's the bathroom. There isn't one specific reason for this. For some cats, it's simply part of following you around and wanting to know where you've gone. But bathrooms can also be surprisingly interesting places for cats. There's running water, different smells, cool surfaces, sinks to sit in, and bath mats that apparently make excellent beds. There's also another simple explanation. You're finally sitting still. You're not walking around the house or disappearing into another room, which makes it the perfect opportunity for your cat to get some attention or simply spend time with you. So while going to the bathroom might not be particularly exciting to you, to your cat it can be the perfect combination of curiosity, routine, and having your undivided attention. Some cats are simply more social than others. It's also worth remembering that every cat is different. Some cats want to know where you are at all times. Others will disappear for 6 hours, emerge from a cupboard you've never seen them enter, eat dinner, and disappear again. Personality, genetics, early experiences, and socialization can all influence how much interaction a cat wants. So don't compare your cat too much with someone else's. A cat that doesn't follow you everywhere doesn't necessarily love you any less. They might just have a more independent personality. And a cat that follows you everywhere isn't necessarily anxious or overly dependent. They might just be incredibly nosy. Pay attention if the behavior suddenly changes. This is probably the most important point. If your cat has always followed you around and everything else seems normal, it's usually just part of who they are. But if your normally independent cat suddenly becomes extremely clingy, follows you constantly, vocalizes more than usual, or just seems different, pay attention. Changes in behavior can sometimes happen because of stress, changes in the home, aging, discomfort, or illness. It doesn't automatically mean something is wrong, but you know what's normal for your cat. So if the behavior is new, persistent, or comes with other changes like appetite, drinking, toileting, sleeping, or activity changes, it's worth speaking to your vet. So does your cat follow you because they love you? Quite possibly. But that's probably not the only reason. You represent a lot of things to your cat. Your companionship, your safety, your food, your entertainment. You're the person who opens doors that apparently needed opening immediately. And you're part of their everyday routine. So when your cat gets up from a perfectly comfortable bed just to follow you into another room, sometimes there isn't some huge mysterious explanation. They just want to know where their person is going. And honestly, that's pretty cute. If your cat follows you everywhere, let me know in the comments. What's the one place they absolutely refuse to let you go alone? I'm guessing there are going to be a lot of bathrooms. And if you enjoy learning about all the weird and wonderful things our cats do, subscribe to Paws, Purrs, and Claws for more cat behavior, care, and fun facts. I'll see you in the next one.